Did you know a cruise ship carrying 3,000 passengers can generate over $70,000 a day in automatic gratuities? Yet, more and more cruisers are walking straight to guest services to remove the charge. Cruise tipping is the hottest button issue at sea. Why are so many experienced travelers opting out of a system designed to simplify things? We're going to give you the 4 core reasons cruisers remove their tips, followed by the Cruise Pro strategy for tipping intentionally, and a complete cruise line rate breakdown showing just how high these fees have climbed. Cruisers are challenging the automated system for 4 primary, interconnected reasons, each representing a failure of the current structure. The number 1 reason people opt out is simple. They don't know who's getting the money, and they suspect the wrong party is benefiting. Cruise lines define these payments as service charges, which are subject to the carrier's discretion, not voluntary tips. This is how the wage offset trap is sprung. Crew contracts often stipulate a low base salary, with the pooled automatic gratuity serving as the primary mechanism for meeting the crew member's guaranteed minimum wage. This is a critical distinction. The cruise line is effectively using passenger money to cover its own payroll costs, saving the corporation millions while avoiding raising the ticket price. Cruisers remove the charge because they realize their automated payment primarily offsets a corporate labor expense, rather than acting as a true bonus for good service. By tipping cash directly, they bypass the system and guarantee the employee receives their contractual minimum plus 100% of the cash tip as genuine extra income, making their generosity count. The second reason centers on ethics and employee performance. Traditionally, tips are tied to the service level received, a system that incentivizes excellence. The current automatic gratuity structure removes this essential accountability, regardless of the quality of your stateroom steward or waiter. Whether your cabin is pristine or your meal order is consistently wrong, the staff member receives the same mandatory reward. This erosion of the link between effort and compensation inevitably impacts motivation. Cruisers notice this change. They miss the personal satisfaction of a face-to-face thank you that validates exceptional effort. They opt out because they believe that when excellence and mediocrity earn equal pay, the system is fundamentally flawed. By removing the automatic fee, they reclaim the ability to use cash to reward only those crew members who delivered service worthy of the premium they charge. The third reason is purely financial, focusing on the confusing layers of service charges and the risk of double dipping. While the automatic daily gratuity covers your main staff, it does not cover optional purchases. A separate 18% to 20% service charge is automatically added to every beverage, spa treatment, and specialty dining receipt. When you sign that receipt, there is often a blank line for additional tip. Many cruisers inadvertently tip a second or third time on the same drink by filling out that line, sending that money into the general pool. Cruisers remove the folio charge because they are already being hit by the mandatory 20% charge on every extra they buy. They prefer to pay the single mandated beverage fee and then use targeted cash tips for any supplemental bonus, ensuring that extra dollar goes straight to the server's pocket, not into the automated revenue stream. The final reason is rooted in consumer fairness and the paradoxical language used by the cruise lines. The fee is declared optional, yet it is automatically assigned to your account, creating a mandatory optional hybrid. This contradiction confirms to many travelers that the fee is primarily a flexible revenue stream designed to keep the ticket price low. This is exacerbated by charging the high rate, which can be upwards of $27.25 per person per day on some luxury suites, to every single guest, including infants and small children who require vastly different levels of service. Cruisers are demanding clarity. If the fee is essential to crew welfare, it should be included in the advertised fare. The required trip to guest services to remove a pre-assigned charge proves the primary function is collection, forcing travelers to reclaim their money on principle alone. If you join the intentional tipping movement, you need a clear, 3-step strategy. Your first step is to avoid the prepayment trap. Do not prepay your gratuities before you board. Prepaying locks in the charge and eliminates your option to adjust or remove the funds once you sail, thereby surrendering your financial control. Next, you must master the guest services protocol. Head to the desk early in the cruise, ideally the first morning. Your request must be firm, simple, and unwavering. I am removing the automatic service charges from my folio. I will be tipping my crew members personally in cash. Finally, you must execute your cash strategy flawlessly. Bring a substantial supply of small US bills. You are now solely responsible for rewarding your front-of-house staff, your cabin steward, your main dining room waiter, and the assistant waiter. While you acknowledge the necessary compromise that the back-of-house staff may be affected, you guarantee your chosen crew members receive a direct, personal cash bonus that shows you saw and appreciated their service. The cost of the automated system continues to climb, and it's essential to know what you're being charged. Right now, Norwegian Cruise Line charges a hefty $20 per person per day, which increases to $25 for those staying in a haven or suite. Royal Caribbean is right behind, currently hitting $18.50 for standard rooms and $21 for suites. For guests sailing on Carnival Cruise Line, the rate sits at $16 for standard cabins, going up to $18 for suites. Meanwhile, Holland America line charges $17 daily, increasing to $19 for suite guests. If you are sailing with Celebrity Cruises, expect to see $18 daily for standard staterooms, $19 for Aqua Class, and $23 if you've booked a high-end retreat. Lastly, Princess Cruises currently charges $17 per day, rising to $19 for their suite accommodations. Remember, all these amounts are in addition to the mandatory 18% to 20% service charges you pay on all your drinks, specialty dining, and spa services. The trend of removing gratuities is not about stinginess. It is a savvy demand for clarity and a refusal to participate in the corporate wage offset system. It is the cruiser insisting on humanizing the transaction. Before you sail again, check your folio, consider the wage offset implication, and decide for yourself. Will you remove gratuities and tip intentionally, or leave the system in place? Until next time, take care and happy cruising.